I only know my parents' life in fragments. I always look through the photo albums of the life left behind in China and ask them what it was like coming to America. They tell me stories about how hard it was, but I know it's something I can never really understand. When I think about my parents' immigration story, I don't know if I feel ridiculously lucky or that I owe them so much more than I can ever give. I think it's both. I don't know what to call how I feel about the weight of my parents' story, but I know it's not just me who carries this kind of a history. I'm not really sure where I wanted to go with this video, but I just wanted to give my friends a space to tell me about their parents' immigration stories. This is what they said.
欠钱是因为学费是吗？哦。My name's Willa. My parents are from southern China, and I was born in a town near Hangzhou.
My name's Jesse. Jesse Zhan. My family is from the Jiangxi province of China.
My name's Emma. I'm from New Jersey, but my parents are from Beijing.
So I'm Luana. I'm from New York City. My parents are from Guangdong in China. It's like the Cantonese-speaking region of like China. I think my parents made it like a really big part of my childhood. They always wanted me to like know like what was going on in their lives, and like I think they felt like it was a very like significant part of me as well, just knowing their history.
I think my parents' story about immigrating to the U.S. is pretty typical for as far as it goes for an immigrant story.
My mom always told me that she came with like $40 in her pocket on the flight with just like a small bag.
My dad came over here with basically nothing in his pockets because he was a student and didn't really have that much money saved.
My dad was just telling me that when my mom was alone, because she came first and she went to Texas first, when she was there alone, she would cry all the time because like there was no one there with her, and she was just like trying to make ends meet, and I wasn't there either, and she would think about me and worry about me and how I'm doing in China.
When my mom was pregnant with me, you know a little bit about this, she was not accustomed to any food in America yet, and the only thing that she would eat here without like throwing it up was like ramen.
When he first came to America, I think he like really because they came when they were in high school, so I think he wanted to like come to America, go to college, get like a bachelor's degree. And I like remember like when I was a child, he would be in the process of like studying like for like exams and things like that.
She was working as a research assistant in the biology department, and that was like really hard for her because she didn't understand the language, and like taking all those classes, she had to like go in with a recorder and listen to it back at home. And the other thing is that she was like allergic to the gloves at lab. This is like really emotional for me because I didn't know it was as bad until I called her today and she told me that like, sorry, I'm getting like really emotional about this. But like her hands, it started with like itching, and then her hands would start bleeding so bad to the point where like every day she'd be putting on gloves over like basically like injured hands already, and like when she would take off the gloves, like some of the blood would just like peel off. She did that every day for like 3 or 4 months because there was nothing else that she could do.
I remember my dad telling me that the first paycheck that he got from his job, he basically spent it all on like baby care items and like toys and equipment to take care of me. And they didn't really, since I was the first child, they didn't really know how to like raise a kid, much less like raising a kid in a country that they weren't familiar with. So I think they struggled a lot.
He's like pretty successful, I would say. Like he like started his own company, like he like refurbishes like cell phones and stuff. And it's like pretty big now, and he also invested in like other companies, so like he's doing really well. But he told me that how he came to America like to learn and like to go to school, but because he had to like raise me, like he wasn't able to like go to school at the same time, and like that made me feel like it made me feel really bad, but like also like very thankful for him, you know.
I think we were in like H Mart eating something in the cafeteria area, and then my mom was like, when they were students and they would go to the grocery store, and basically like the Asian food market, there's always the cafeteria area, and they would see other people eating like a bowl of noodles, and they would feel kind of just like, I don't know what the word is. They would really want it, but then they couldn't justify buying it even though it was like so cheap. And then after they got their first like actual income, they were so happy they went there and celebrated by like getting a bowl of noodles.
Like he's like, I will make everything like smooth for you, like, and I will like lay out the path so like you have like an easy like easy path like to success. And like I'm just so blessed because like no one did that for him, you know.
My mom is like one of the most selfless, caring people that I've ever met. And I always ask her if she regrets leaving China and like regrets leaving her career. And whenever I ask her that, she's like, sometimes I think about it, like sometimes I think about like the career I would have had like if I stayed in China and like remained a doctor and took off my career from there. But then she's like, oh, but then I look at you kids and like the life that I have with you guys here, and I don't like regret anything. And seeing where you guys are in life and like raising you guys has been like the greatest joy of her life. So I think that was, so she understands like what she left behind, and she's not like regretful about any of it, which I think is pretty awesome and really selfless.
Like he's like not really enjoying life, you know, like he tells me, I'm like, Dad, like maybe you should take some days off, like go on vacation, you know. But he's like, no, like when I'm happy when I'm working, because like I guess he doesn't really want to like think of like the divorce and all of that. So he's like, no, like I'm happy like when I'm working. And like just hearing that like makes me so sad, because like just like the world is so beautiful, and like I just want him to experience that, you know. Like he never got a break from life. Like he just came to America and like just worked, and like I feel like time is just going by so fast, and like I don't want them to get old and like not experience like the nice things in life, you know. So I don't know, that's like always something on my mind.
They both ended up getting masters, and like my dad started working first since he got his master's first, and like since the second that he started making an income, it was like way easier for them. But before that, I just never realized how hard it was for them to like establish themselves here.
I feel like they have a mentality where they want to shelter me from all the hardships that they've been through, because that was a big reason for why they came to America in the first place, was because they wanted for their children to have a better life. And part of that, at least in our family, is just hiding all of the hardships that were before, because I think for them too, they don't really want to reflect on it and they just want to move past it.
Like them telling me this, I don't think it's because they want, like I don't think their intention is to like burden me, you know. I think it's just to expose me and like let me know that like life is not as easy as you think it is. Like you're always gonna have obstacles that you have to overcome, you know. And like no matter like what life like throws at you, like you just have to do something about it. And like they are the like living proof that like you can literally get through anything, you know. Like, and I think just seeing them makes me so motivated.
Sometimes they would remind me when I was just basically doing nothing, and they would tell me like how hard they had to work, but they never told me a ton of details. They just said, you know, it was really hard for us to come here and like start from nothing, and I never understood that to the full extent.
One, I think for me, is that they told us these stories just so we understand that we need to be grateful for where we are and all the things that we've been given as like first generation like American-born Chinese. I think the other thing that may be unintentional was that it seeded, at least for me, it seeded in me like this internal like motivation and drive to to achieve more than just average.
I don't know. It's weird because they've always, even though they haven't like really explicitly acted in that way, in the feeling that like I owe them. But
Do you feel like
I feel like I do, knowing what they've been through. But they never put that on me.
And like when they did tell me that like all these things when I was younger, I like straight up don't even think I had like a reaction. I'd just be like, oh, that's cool, or like something like that, and just like, that sounds hard. But I never like felt what I said. Even if I said that sounded hard, I was just like trying to make them stop trying to make me feel guilty about like not trying hard.
In a way, it puts up this boundary where it separates my life experiences from those of my parents, and kind of kept it. And even them telling us the story isn't exactly why this boundary existed. It's just that their life in China and their life immigrating to the United States was just such a different experience from what I have experienced growing up. And that kind of kept us from really being able to connect on a personal level.
Well, my dad like started talking to me about like, you know, his experiences when I started getting older. Like actually, like I feel like we became a lot closer like when I went away for college, and I think he just wanted to let me know like that he like loves me, you know.
Kind of like really privileged, and like I'll never understand what it's like to go through hardship, because I'll never have to, and it's like that's what they wanted for me. But just to think that they did all of that for me is like, it's just like so crazy, because I don't think I ever appreciated them as much as like I should have.
It's kind of interesting to think about now because they've never verbally shown affection to us. I think they were showing affection to us in a way through the stories that they told.
And I think the first time that I heard my dad say that was like when I first moved in as a freshman, and he said I love you, and he hugged me. And it's like we all know that, right? Like we all know that our parents like love us, but like I don't know. Like I don't know why we don't say it to each other. I guess it's just, I don't know. Like I know it on the inside that we love each other, but we never really say it. But like the first time he said it to me, it's like when I like really like it like really hit me, you know, that I'm like so lucky to have them as my parents. And like
the stories that they told were ones of sacrifice and ones of basically taking a risk of coming to America to find a life that would be better for their kids and a life that would be better for our future. So them telling us these stories were an unintentional way of them showing their affection to us. And I feel like by providing a life for us in America, they felt like they didn't need to tell us that they loved us or need to show us affection, because they basically shown through their lives that they do indeed love us.
Like I need to do my best, because I'm doing it for myself, because yes, I want to get into med school, like I want to be a doctor in the future, but no, I'm like also doing it for my parents, you know. I think it's like it's my honor, it's my privilege, you know, to like do that for my parents. Like yeah, I think that just kind of just hit me. But like yeah, like my dad wasn't able to finish college, you know, and I feel like it's like my honor to like do that for him, you know. So